Why slower living makes you happier after 65. There's something almost rebellious about slowing down in today's world. The pace of modern life demands speed, productivity, multitasking, constant movement. But once you cross the age of 65, something begins to shift. It's not just your energy levels that change, it's your relationship with time itself. Suddenly, slowness isn't a limitation, it becomes a superpower. This is the story of why living slower after 65 doesn't make you less relevant or less fulfilled. In fact, it might be the very reason you begin to feel truly happy, maybe for the first time in your life. It's not about doing less, it's about doing things more deliberately, with more presence and less pressure. The noise begins to fade, and in its place a deeper joy emerges, one not based on chasing but on being. You see, when we're younger, we equate speed with success. Quick decisions, fast progress, packed schedules, they make us feel important. But that lifestyle has a cost: burnout, disconnection, anxiety. When we finally step away from that hamster wheel in our later years, we begin to rediscover things we forgot we loved. Sitting on the porch and watching the rain, taking the long way home, spending an hour making a meal that used to take 15 minutes. These are not signs of aging, they're signs of awakening. The world didn't get less beautiful, we just stopped noticing it. Slower living gives us that beauty back. What many people don't realize is that the nervous system actually responds positively to a slower rhythm. When you're constantly rushing, your body is in fight or flight mode. But when you slow down, you shift into rest and digest, literally. Your breathing deepens, your thoughts settle, and your body heals. That's not just poetic, it's biological. After 65, your happiness often increases not because of what's added, but because of what's subtracted. Stress, pressure, and the need to prove yourself. You begin to realize that contentment isn't found in doing everything. It's found in doing the right things slowly, mindfully, and with heart. There's a quiet magic in being able to enjoy your coffee without needing to scroll your phone, or in watching birds without feeling like it's a waste of time. After decades of rushing from one responsibility to the next, raising kids, building a career, making ends meet, you now have the permission to pause. And that pause is sacred. It allows reflection. It gives space for memories to breathe and for new joys to take root. The slower pace allows you to show up fully in the moment, and that is where the deepest happiness lives. Not in the next achievement, but in the richness of right now. Another thing that happens after 65 is the realization that not everything requires a response. You stop jumping to answer every call or solve every problem. Slower living gives you the wisdom to choose what deserves your attention. You stop multitasking and start mono-living. Reading becomes an act of meditation. Cooking turns into a ritual. Conversations become more meaningful, even if fewer. You begin to notice the details, the texture of bread, the warmth of a hug, the way sunlight hits your favorite chair in the morning. These moments aren't small. They're the essence of a life well lived, and the faster you move, the more you miss them. Slower living also reshapes how we view relationships. After 65, you're less interested in superficial connections and more drawn to authenticity. You take time to listen instead of rushing to reply. You don't attend events out of obligation. You choose what brings you joy. You learn to be with people in a more present, more generous way, because you're no longer thinking about the next thing. Time becomes something to savor, not spend. This doesn't make you less social. It makes your social life richer. Even your relationship with yourself changes. You begin to appreciate your body for carrying you this far. You stop judging the lines on your face and start seeing them as chapters in your story. There's also a surprising sense of freedom that comes with slower living. You become less reactive, more grounded. You realize that many of the things you used to rush for were never really urgent. And in slowing down, you give yourself the gift of choice. Choice in how you spend your time, who you spend it with, and what you give your energy to. After 65, happiness isn't about quantity anymore, it's about quality. A quality morning walk, a quality nap, a quality laugh with an old friend. You realize that you don't need constant excitement to be happy, you just need peace. And peace lives in the slow lane. Some people fear that slowing down means fading away. But in truth, it means showing up more fully than ever. You're not vanishing, you're arriving. You've earned the right to step off the treadmill and walk your own path. A slower life is not a lesser life. It's a deeper one. One where silence becomes music, stillness becomes sacred, and time feels like a gift instead of a deadline. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real meaning of happiness in old age. Not the thrill of the chase, but the warmth of presence. Not the noise of more, but the quiet of enough. So if you're over 65 and feel like the world is urging you to keep up, don't. Let the world rush. You've earned your pace. You've earned your peace. Slower living isn't about slowing down because you have to. It's about choosing to, because now you see what really matters. And in that choice, happiness blossoms, softly, steadily, like a sunrise you no longer sleep through.